Hi, I am so excited to have everybody here today. For those who don't know me, I am Jacqueline Smith, and I am a homeschooling mama and homesteading mama, and just love doing life with my family. And we own our own online business, and I'm so excited that we get the opportunity to visit with other people who also do the same thing and do all that exciting stuff. So today we are going to have Miss Janeen Marino come on, and I am really excited. And I'm going to go ahead and get her going. Let's see here if I can get her added in there. Hopefully this is how I do that.
I'll never get used to this.
Nope. Not the wrong thing. Hold on. All right, so let me see if I can figure this out. It is not popping up just yet, so hopefully it will soon. Let me see. Obviously, I am learning this system. Let me see here. Maybe she's on there. Janeen, if you are on there and you're hearing me, for some reason, okay, let's see. For some reason, it is, yes, that is exactly what I want to do. It's got our message systems on here. Okay, there we go. All right. So we are going to get her added on here in just a minute. She will, she'll be ready. There we go. All right, she will be ready and set to go, and we'll be able to get her on here. But first, let me introduce her. So it is Janeen Marino, and she is a world schooling mama of 5. So not just homeschooling, but she world schools. She is a certified biblical leadership coach. She also is a best-selling author, and we are just so excited to have her on here today. She is definitely, let's see here. Let's see if she's, I want to make sure that she's here. All right, let's see. So so we are just getting started. I'm so excited. Hi, Janet. Thank you for being here. It's so good to see you join us. And I just want to make sure that you guys are able to see the exact process that we use, but also get to meet someone who is doing this every day just like us and have the opportunity. She has made 37,000 in a very short amount of time, and she is just doing this. So let me see if I can get her brought on here. Okay, here she goes. Awesome. All right, guys. So Janeen Marino, world schooling mama of 5, biblical leadership coach, and also best-selling author, and she is doing the same digital process that we teach every day, and we are so excited. So let me get her brought on here. Okay, so let's see. Just a second, I imagine. So if you are just joining us, I am really excited. Hi, Janeen.
Hey, how's it
So
going?
good. I am so happy to have you here today and be able to just visit with you and discuss life and your journey to being a multi-stream income entrepreneur. I love that so much. So I want to make sure that we really answer questions today. Guys, if you have questions, we will definitely try to get to those as much as we can. And I just want to get started. I'm so excited. So for those who just joined us, Janeen is a world schooling mama of 5 boys, right? All boys. You are a full boy mama. And you also are a certified biblical leadership coach. Janeen also is a best-selling author, and we will learn a little bit about that book and what brought her there. And then also she does the stuff that we do. So she does the same digital process, and we love hearing about that. So are you ready?
I am.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, we are so happy to have you. Okay, so can you share a bit about your journey and how you became a certified biblical leadership coach?
Yeah, for sure. So I am part of a community. It's called Kingdom Alliance, and
Mhm.
went through this Radiant Leadership Academy. And honestly, it was so transformational. It was all about, just biblical leadership, like understanding your identity in Christ and being a good steward of your thoughts and your resources and your time and your finances and all of that. And then really like learning like how to be a servant leader like Jesus. And it was just such an amazing experience. I went through it twice actually, and then decided that I should get certified. Actually, it was more like a nudge from God, like, hey, Janeen, you should fly to the US from Thailand and go get certified. And
Oh,
so I did, and I'm so grateful because it's been such a great experience, and I'm just so honored to be able to really have a front row seat to watch people go through this biblical transformation. It's been really cool.
yes, yes. I love those nudges, We just got to be listening for them. We got to be, keep our eyes open. He's around us all day, every day. I love that so much.
Yes.
And do you find that it has made a different impact in your life since you, did follow that call and did become certified?
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, even though I went through the program twice, teaching it, a whole nother level.
And yes, yeah, and I can see how that would be, a little different for you. All right, so how did you start world schooling? And man, 5 boys. I bet they keep you on your toes.
They do. They do. We're actually traveling with 4 of them now. My oldest is 19, so he's back in the States, but he did travel with us for a little while. So yeah, it kind of started off as a joke. We traveled full time in our RV back in 2019 and 2020, and just thought we were going to go back to that. And it just wasn't feeling right. And so we were praying about it and just exploring options, and started off as like well, we could move to Bali for 6 months, it's cheaper there.
Yeah.
And so just started off like that and thought we would be gone for just a couple of months, and then our flight back got canceled, and we just felt like this was what God had for us. And so it's kind of always been a dream of mine. I just didn't think it would actually happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so neat. Sometimes those dreams that you have 20 years ago, you think, oh, that'll never come to pass, but really it's just not the season at the moment. You have to have some more maturing in what God needs you to mature in before you can move forward in that. I love that, how he prunes away what you don't need, and then he replaces with such goodness. I love that.
So true.
Okay, so um, how do you balance all of this? How do you balance the world, being a world schooling mama, being just a mama, taking care of everyday life, being, a best-selling author, having this digital business that we do. How do you balance all this?
Yeah, I would say, honestly, I get my blueprint, my download from God. I just, anytime I feel overwhelmed and I feel like, okay, like there's been times where like I'll be like, God, I'm overwhelmed, and he will add to my plate. Like once in a while, like I remember when I first got started in this business, he was like, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that. And I was like, all at once? Like, I'm like,
Please.
no.
I I
But
often hear people say that God won't give you more than you can handle, but I truly believe that God does give us more
yes,
than we can handle because he wants us to lean in and lean on him. That's
yes.
that's how I believe.
Anytime I'm overwhelmed, it's because I'm trying to do it on my own.
Hmm.
So when
That's
I sit down with him, I literally we have like business meetings pretty much weekly. Every time I'm like, okay, I'm stressed. What do I do? And he will literally give me like, I'm like, what hour should I work? Like there's sometimes where I'm like, when do you want me to sleep? Like, when do you
yes,
want me to this?
yeah.
If you ask, he will answer, you just
Oh
have
yes,
to.
he will. Every time he does, every time. All right, so tell me in regards to, because we know this is why people are definitely here, one, to hear from you and how you are making this work or allowing this to work through how God is using you. Tell me what your typical day looks like in that.
Yeah, so because we're on the other side of the world, I generally work mornings and nights.
Hmm.
Like when it comes to like this business, it really only takes about 2 hours, other than, doing some training and stuff, which I'm kind of an information junkie, so I really like that part. But it's really kind of simple because, really, like we learned this 2 hour workday where it's really set up like when you first get started, where you're spending like a half an hour, maybe copying and pasting free ads to high traffic sites. And we have that all mapped out for you and pretty much done and ready to go. So you can do that, and then spending about an hour creating content, maybe going live if you go live, or you can do faceless too. So, spending the time, and I actually don't do it like that, to be totally honest. I batch create my
Yes.
content. So I actually will create content on 1 to 2 days a week. And
Yes.
then I just, spend my time getting it ready to put out, because it's easier, because you don't have the same energy every day.
Oh,
I don't know. I find some days I'm like, I don't want to do it today, And so,
I want to go play with
or
my
you're,
voice today. I want to go play with my
yeah,
kids today. Yes,
I know.
I feel that.
So it just depends. So I think that's way smarter, is to batch
Yes,
create your content. Change your
yeah.
shirt every couple of videos. Maybe do your hair different.
Yeah, I feel
So
that so
that's how
much.
I make it.
I did that before we headed down on vacation with family and stuff, because I knew, I was like, I want to spend, we're currently spending time with Jaylee's birth family, and, I wanted to be able to truly just, connect and spend time with them. We love every time we get to spend time with them. So I did the same thing. I batch created everything for my whole week, and I was good to go. And so now, I'm doing my lives, but other than that, and when I do them, they're all either still asleep or they're, heading, to do their errands that they need to do. So it
Yeah.
works out perfectly. So I totally agree with that. I love that.
Mhm.
Okay, so what motivated you to have multiple streams of income?
Yes. So, other than the fact that it just makes sense, because we've had things fall through, so you don't want to just have one thing.
Yeah.
But also it's biblical. If you look at Ecclesiastes 11:2 and 3, it talks about having 7 to 8 streams of income. And the Proverbs 31 woman, she had multiple streams of income.
Mhm.
So it just really makes sense to do it that way. And so it's just something we, have always strived to add additional streams of income. But
Yeah.
let's be honest, you can't just keep adding, more and more time. So this one, the only reason I was like, okay, was because it was 2 hours a day. I was like, I can do 2 hours a day.
I can focus for 2 hours. I can do this. Even with me, who I'm often like, what's that? Oh gosh, there was an animated movie where they were like, squirrel, 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 because your brain is.
Yeah,
So it
totally.
works even with that. So I love that. Because you don't have to just do the 2 hours. You can, all at once. You can split it up how you were saying. So I love that. Okay, so how did you get started with multiple streams of income? It's biblical, and I love that. But what pushed you to get started? What called you?
Um, Gosh, I don't even remember when we started with multiple streams of income, to be honest. I think it just started happening.
Yeah,
But I mean, everything that we do, we pray about it first. And
I
so,
love that.
even for this, particular thing, my husband actually had, uh, he was selling his business, and he had a couple things lined up, 5 streams of income lined up to replace that. And 3 of them fell through the week before. And we were like, oh, okay, we've been praying about selling this. What are we going to do? And so we prayed about it, felt like we should go through with it. So went through with
Mhm.
it. And then a month later, I heard a friend had made $16,000 in a month working just 2 hours a day. And I thought, whatever she's doing, I gotta check that
That's so
out,
crazy.
and because I was thinking my husband was gonna find another stream of income, not me.
Okay.
I wasn't even looking.
You're like one of those moments when you're like, okay, so you're piling on more. Okay, here we go. Okay,
For
so
sure.
speaking of that, your goal was just to even make half of that. And how are you doing with it?
Oh my gosh, it was just crazy. So, we had some friends share with us too, that they had kind of, heard from the Lord that it was almost like we were in the storm, and we were like the disciples on the boat, and then, Jesus would come and the storm would stop immediately. And I was like, I mean, I know God's got this. We aren't going to starve. We're not going to be homeless. But I was like, what do you mean it's just going to stop immediately? We're not just going to come up with a 6-figure income immediately. That's what it takes to replace it, And so it was really cool, because I thought oh yeah, maybe if we made 8,000, I was like, that would be good. That would be enough for us to live on. And then we made $18,000 our first month, which is just,
It's like,
insane. It totally blew my mind.
I love it. I love how God just surprises us daily. You know, we think we know because we kind of, you know, try to control, and then boom, he's like, no, I've got this. Let me just show you how I can do this.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So, all right, let's see. All right. So can you walk us through the different income streams that you've built and how they complement each other?
Mm. Yeah. So I would say the biggest thing with that is um, there's a lot of different things, right? And so some of them we are totally hands off, which is nice. But the ones that we are more hands on, it's kind of crazy because, like with Kingdom Alliance, you know, that is something that I actually am going to be using this, you know, business and this 2-hour workday as a framework to kind of rethink how I do that.
Yeah.
And use like our website and our email automations and all of that to customize for that, so that, because it's kind of ruined me, like automation, I can't do it anymore now if it's not
I
automated.
know.
So I mean, I think that's huge. And then actually my hubby's getting into something, this Christian, like kind of like a franchise for like AI ads.
Uh-huh.
And so he's kind of getting into that. And so that all kind of, you know, can
Complement.
work together. And so I think that's really cool that, you know, we are able to kind of step into that space. And it's so funny to me too, because just a couple of years ago, I tried everything to not be in the online space.
Yes.
Everything. I was like, I don't like social media. I don't want to be on camera. Like I was, oh my gosh.
And now look at
That
you,
is just,
your lives. I love it. I love it. All right. So what has been your biggest success in building these income streams, and what do you attribute it to?
Well, this one has been my biggest success. We've made $37,000 in 12 weeks,
Wow.
and that's, you know, way more than I've made in anything else. And I would say it's really attributed to the program is like such a no-brainer. I
Mhm.
mean, it almost sounds too good to be true. I
I
mean,
know.
it's 2 hours a day, it's automated, it's done for you. Like it makes sense for just about anyone that is wanting an additional stream of income and wants to do something online. Like it doesn't like single people out. It's not like, and we're selling makeup. Like it's not makeup. Like it really like is like your target audience is like, do you need to make money or not?
You're
Like
right. That's exactly, yes. Yeah. Your target
so,
audience
and
is basically everybody, you know, like if they're wanting to have additional income.
yeah, I think that's honestly like a big that makes a big difference. There's no lack of people that need to make money. There's
Yes.
really not. And,
Yeah,
and this one
exactly.
just makes so much sense, and is so simple that it's a good fit for a lot of people.
Yeah. And you spoke of, okay, so you said, you know, it almost sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
When you were first beginning, did you have any skepticism about it?
Okay, so full transparency, I had heard of master resale rates before,
Hmm.
and I thought it sounded stupid. I did. I was like, what is it? I was like, it's a course. You're buying a course and you're reselling a course. I was like, that sounds dumb.
This sounds
And
familiar. I mean, for me.
yeah, I was like, I don't understand. And then when I learned about this one, I heard of it from like a different angle. First
Mhm.
off, you know, it was someone I knew. I heard how much money she made, how much time she was
Right.
spending, and I was like, what do you mean? You know, and I heard it was like done for you and automated, and that's different. It's not just a
Right.
course, right? And so I think the difference here is, and first off, when I was looking into it, it sounded different to me because I was like, well, a program, it's got live mentorship, you have a done for you website, done for you email automation. I was like, that's different from a lot of the things I've seen.
Yes.
So I liked that, but I really still didn't totally understand. That's why I was like praying about it. I
Yeah.
was like, all right, God, is this what you want me to do? Like I've mocked
Yeah.
people that did stuff like this before, you
Mhm.
know? And I got like the full yes. And then when I jumped into it, it was like, oh, this is like way better than I thought it was. Like And don't get me wrong, like the program that we're in now wasn't even around back when I first heard about it. So it
Yes,
was a
yeah.
little different.
It's a different, yeah.
But this is like, it's epic. I mean, the fact that we can come in here, earn 100% profit, be able to really like share this program with anyone, because we have 4 different options for like every budget,
Yeah.
plus installment options. I mean, it's just makes it so accessible,
Yeah.
which, and the biggest thing is I was looking at it from the lens of, can I feel good sharing about
Yes,
it? Like, that's
absolutely.
really the lens I was coming at it from. Like, can I feel good sharing it with others, and can they succeed? Like I had been in the online space for 2 years. I was like, I'm pretty sure I can probably make my money back because
Yeah.
it's only one sale.
Yeah.
Like I knew I could make my money back. I wasn't worried about that.
Yes.
I was worried about, can I feel good about sharing it with others? Can they make their money back? Like was really what it came down to. And sure, there's people that quit and there's people that don't, and there's people that, but I'm like, but if they come in and they learn the skills and they're coachable and they commit and they're consistent, absolutely, 100%, 100%. I really believe that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
We made ours back within the first 30 days. So that was exciting for us, for sure. Okay. So speaking of when you were coming into it, and you mentioned before, or I think you mentioned before, your friend had made 16,000 in a month, and you were like, if I could only do half of that, that would help our family. Was it something that you thought of as a get rich quick scheme?
not necessarily. I just thought of it as, because I knew her and because I knew like she was someone of integrity and she is a part of a lot of different things. I was like, that's why she does well with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do well with
Yeah.
it, was my original thought, which is false, because it's really more about like, this program is awesome, like it's more about that than even like, I mean, our skills play into it a little, but you just learn the skills,
Yeah.
but also I wasn't sure how fast I would make the money. I really didn't think it would be that fast. I've never seen something where people can make this kind of money this quickly. Like even like people that like Tim, like I'm sure you've heard his testimony. Like he came in from the corporate world, had lost his job, got started, didn't make a sale for 3 months because he wasn't like being coachable or asking the right questions. Then he like came in and asked a couple of questions and made like 10 grand his next month, and now he's made like $200,000 in like 11 months.
I know.
Like,
and so he's so fun to listen to. I love his story.
I enjoy him. Yeah. And so there's so many people that have come in that like don't have the network or the skills or the things, but then are able to hit 10K plus months or hit 100K in 6 months or whatever. Like that's just not normal.
Yeah. I love it. I love it because I don't like being normal. I want to be, I want to be a little weird, I want to be that way.
Totally. Break the box.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Okay. So I love that so much. All right. So, let's see here. All right. So what challenges did you face along the way, with this, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah. So I would say, the biggest challenge with, I think, any business, is mindset, even though this sounds crazy when I say it out loud, even though we made $37,000 in the last 12 weeks, I still have doubts some days. For no good reason. Not because of the program, like it's more like self-doubt, it's like the enemy attacks or something, and so I think mindset is key. I think it's actually the biggest reason that people succeed or fail. I think it is absolutely the thing that makes the biggest difference. It's the biggest difference maker, and I think, the most important thing to do when you're, it kind of get into that, like you have to like fight it back right away. First off, any little like snippet of doubt, you have to, take it out, because you can't stay there. Yeah, for sure. So, just really like getting into gratitude, like shifting your feelings or your atmosphere immediately to get into a different feeling is, I think, really important. So whether it's, you know, throwing on some worship music and just praising, you know, I think that's like the best weapon. But then also, you know, getting into gratitude and just finding kind of like those happy feelings elsewhere, I think helps shift you back
Yeah.
into the right mindset.
I love that. I love that so much. Mindset plays such a part. And even if, you know, like they say, when you wake up in the morning, do you wake up and you're like, oh, I have to get up? Or do you wake up and say, oh, I'm so excited I get to get up, you know?
Yeah.
And so it starts from the moment your eyes open. You need to have that mindset. And, you know, there's some days, obviously, we just don't want to do things. Like that's just part of
Totally.
life. That's who we are. We're exhausted. You know, that's just being a mom a lot.
Yeah.
Because you have so many, you know, people needing you and needing things from you. But I'm so grateful that they do, you know, and so you have
Yeah.
to have that mindset, you know, and that shift. And so I love that so much. Okay, so let's go back to your world schooling for just a minute. I want to just delve into that a little bit because, you know, I'm homeschooling mama and you know, I don't follow any certain type of, you know, specific things. We kind of take from different things. And I love even now on this trip, we're using different things to teach and train our kiddos. So how has world schooling enriched your family's life and your children's education?
Oh gosh. So I think that world schooling is a, it's like a different, it's like a whole different beast. Let me tell you, it's so different than homeschooling because it's so immersive in culture, you know, and so I would say like we love like going to the different museums in different countries. Like that is like a whole, like we used to like to do that in different states, but
Yes,
like different
yes.
countries is way different. Like I will say, especially in Vietnam, seeing the war from their
Mm,
perspective has like, it's a
wow,
totally different than what we've learned in the history books, let me tell you.
for sure.
So that has been kind of interesting to teach more hands-on. And so that's really important to us. But then also like as we travel, we really like to live life on mission. And so we are always trying to serve and going to churches from all over the world and stuff. And so I think that is really my favorite part,
I
you
just love
know.
your servant heart. I love that. Okay, so on that, what would you say your favorite subject to teach them in a world schooling atmosphere would be?
Um,
'Cause it's kind of
you
all
know,
combined, right?
yeah, that's a hard question because we aren't like, we're really outside the box, like world
Yeah,
school or
yeah,
homeschoolers, you know, to
yeah.
where like the only subjects that we really teach is like, you know, math and like reading and
Yes,
writing, you know, like that's the only like subjects that we teach.
yes, yes.
Other than that, it's like life, you know, so like even my teenager, my 13-year-old is, he's learning digital marketing with me. Like he's
Perfect.
learning the stock market. Like he has stocks. Like we're teaching them to like be entrepreneurs. And so like he's like, you know, done some of the copy and pasting free ads, and he's like learning about a faceless digital marketing, you
Love
know, and
it.
like how to do that. And so he's learning, you know, like, so I think that is probably my favorite. I think that is probably, I think, more important than making sure they know about
Yeah,
Mesopotamia, or, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel you there. Oh my goodness, I feel you there. It is important to know our history, but also like more so, you can't stay in the past. You have to move forward and you have to teach your kiddos how to, you know, be good functioning adults with a good mindset, you know, who's, you know, teach them how to get in the word each day, teach them how to,
totally.
through life experience, be able
Yeah.
to respond in a manner that is, you know, going to be productive and positive and, you know, be good for the outlook of everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that so much. I was hoping that's how you were going to spin that because I think a lot of people think world schooling and homeschooling are a lot alike in the way, you know, like, oh, well, they're just traveling the world, but they still sit down at a table and teach the different things. But it's really not. It's you teaching the things as you're moving, you know, like you said, museums and seeing different different perspectives and different cultures. And so I really love that so much. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. Okay. So what would be your most memorable moment? You spoke of missions. What would be your most memorable moment with missions and world schooling?
Yeah, so I would say by far it would have to be the experience we were, at an orphanage in the Philippines and just watching the kids connect. And, I don't know, the connections we made there were just goodness. We actually keep in touch with like the older kids from there on Facebook. And I just love them so much. And it just like seeing their perspective and like, I don't know if you've heard the song Tribes, but like that was a song that we sang with them a lot, like during our devotional
I don't
time.
know. I'll have to look it up. You'll have to send
Oh
it
my
to
God.
me so I can listen to it. Is it going to make me
So
cry?
good.
I'm such a sensitive
Yeah,
soul.
totally will. Totally will. But like really experiencing, like having our devotion time with them and teaching them even like, prayer journaling and, teaching them like, the power of your words and doing like a war paint exercise with them where, they like prayed about a word from God, like worthy or loved, and then put it on their arm and having our kids like seeing that from our kids' perspective
Yeah.
too, and them learning it in that environment where to them, like at the orphanage, it was like water in the desert. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
that's amazing.
it just hit
Mhm.
different. It just, I don't know. So that was a really special moment for sure.
So, speaking of missions and bringing it back to the digital community and the digital world, what is your desire for using your multiple streams of income, your digital marketing world, your digital resale rights? What is your desire and your ultimate goal on connecting those two?
Oh man. So I feel like God has really been challenging me with this lately, like to really start thinking bigger. Like, I mean, we already thought kind of big. We world school and we live
Yeah,
life on a mission, right? I mean, we're already kind of doing it. And that was part of like, I'm always like, what's your vision? And then I had to think about it one day
yeah,
and I was like, what's our vision? Like, we're living our vision. What's our
yeah,
vision? Like, what do we? And so I had to really pray into that, but also like God really has been nudging me to be like, you're thinking small, like you're thinking too small. Like as believers, like I think we really think too small.
yeah,
Like
I would agree.
it's so much bigger than us,
Mhm.
like I mean, we used to have a goal of like, well, gosh, if we could make like $20,000 a month, like that would be really cool. We could like do a lot of things and
Yeah,
build safe houses around the world and all these things, and I felt really challenged the other day of like, why wouldn't you make $100,000 a month? Why
yeah,
wouldn't you try and make $200,000 a month? Like,
sure.
why are you thinking so
Yeah,
small? Like, think about what you could do with
yes,
that kind of money. And really like even I had been talking to someone. I'm in the middle of starting up this ministry right now of, kind of like family missions. And we were talking about like, building safe houses for, trafficked victims
yeah,
and stuff. And it's like, well, that's great. But like, in order to do that, you have to have like a ton of insurance. You have to have like a lot of
yeah,
therapists, like a lot, like there's a lot that is necessary to support that type of ministry. It is
yes,
not just here's a safe house and a mama to take care of you. It's not,
yes.
that's not it. There's like a lot more that goes into it, and it can be really intense. And so you need a lot more resources. So we kind of like initially I was like, oh, maybe that's too big. I was like, I don't know, but like it's not. God can do big things.
You can't.
And
I've seen it happen. I've seen that exact scenario from like a personal perspective. Our church, we had a young lady who that was her dream. She wanted to create a safe house, and boy, did he make it come true. And I love that. I got to go and I got to speak there. And so I totally believe that. I believe that if that is what he's called you to do, he is going to make sure that the provision is there for sure.
yeah,
What a
yeah,
great
for sure.
dream. I love that. And there's so many that need that help. So that's amazing. Okay.
For sure.
So how How has your background in your biblical leadership influenced your approach to both personal and business development?
Well, I would say it's influenced everything for me, like not only has it transformed my entire life and my way of thinking, but just really connecting it back to, like everything we do in business is really setting us into like this whole, like you have to have the right mindset and come from the right energy, and not just personally, but then also when you're, stepping into, working with others, like kind of having that servant leadership of, really serving others and really, helping other people, but then helping them to think bigger and believe bigger for themselves too, so I think that's really important too.
Yes, and I see that on the daily, with you and your responses and how you're implementing. So you're not just, telling others this, but you're also implementing that. And how does that affect you back with the responses? So you implement it and then you get their response. How does that affect you?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, when you step into biblical leadership, I think it's most important that you lead yourself well first. And so, even stepping up into that space kind of like raises you up with it, And so,
Yeah.
it kind of, but I also think too that what we're doing here is really affecting so much more, there's so much more we're doing with this. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just helping people with their finances. Like, yes, that is important. And that's, part of the hierarchy of needs. And I think is really important when we're helping people to step into, like, it's really hard to step into your calling when you're struggling and drowning in debt,
Yeah.
like, and trying to pay your
Exactly.
rent. And so I think that's a big piece, but then also to help people start believing bigger and, kind of um, checking them when they say things certain ways. Like sometimes I'll be like, "Don't say it like that."
Yeah.
You know what I
Change
mean?
the way.
Like,
Yeah.
like
It says our words
don't
are
like.
very
Yes,
powerful.
they really are, and I think that's like really important to make sure we're doing things from the right energy, because you can strive and work really hard from the wrong energy, and you're spinning your wheels.
Yes,
You're not
exactly.
getting it.
Yeah. So, when we discovered this and we decided to do it, we were in a, really rough situation. And the situation, while it was financial, it was, our minds were just spinning and we were exhausted and we had gotten to a point where we were just angry. Like, why? We're good people. We've been following these things. Like, why is this happening? I truly believe that, without the discomfort, without the growth that God gives you, you would not be appreciative of what is to come. And so, now I'm seeing this from this side of it, and it's a different perspective, and it's not just about financial gain. Like, we're gaining back time freedom, we're gaining back, financial peace in our minds, like, but it's not just that financial piece, you know what I mean? Like, it's that
Yeah.
just peace of mind that only comes from God, and connected with him, and saying, you know what, oh God, I thought I trusted and I doubted, and I'm so sorry, please forgive me for that. And so, I think that is a really big thing. And it just all goes back to, like, your words are powerful, even the words you don't speak out loud. If you're speaking it inside and not out, you're still, it's like, it's like a flower that wilts, like you're causing that if you do that to yourself. And I want to be a blossoming flower, I want to be able to, when people see me, they see Jesus. And so, I think that's something that has been a big part of this business for our family. Is it's not just brought, a financial, like, hey, we're getting something in our pocket, but it's brought that peace of mind now. And also that worth of, like, look at what we're doing. I'm so excited. God has designed me to be able to help so many people with this, so many families who are hurting, and so many families who need their time back with their, with their kiddos, and so many people that were missing out on memories
Yeah.
that were being made because they were just bogged down, and so I love that so much. I think that is definitely a bigger portion of it for sure. So I love that. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so what key principles do you use in your with like your leadership, your biblical background mainly, not even just leadership, but your biblical background? What key points do you use to implement and how you operate your digital business? I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, gosh, it's just really a way of life. It really has nothing to do so much with business. It's just, a way of life of being, a servant leader, of leading like Jesus, of really like making sure that not only is he my anchor, and I'm connected to him in all that I do, but, even like, kind of partnering with him in everything too, and, in business and in life. And just like we were talking about earlier with, just kind of like having that business meeting with him, and just kind of making sure that, I'm leaning on him and I'm not doing it in my own strength, and I'm doing what he's called me to, even with this business. Like, I prayed over this and he said, go, and I did it, like
Yes,
just
I love
being
it.
obedient.
That faith.
So, but yeah, and just being, smart with, being a good steward of finances and time, and, all of those things. And then also like nudging others into and believing for them when they don't quite believe in themselves yet.
Yes. Yeah. And I do believe, like, that's what I encourage people, when they're asking questions about, well, it's a 2-hour workday or it's this or it's that. And I'm like, but have you prayed about it? Have you went and you asked God specifically, is this for my family?
Right.
And, and then have you listened to him, or are you trying to force something that he, because he, while he has this business for you and he has it for so many other people, you want them to reach back into that and have that conversation with him, because you want them to make the right choice for their family.
Right.
It's been amazing for us. We're so excited. I love hearing your story. And but you want people to have that, you want them to go back to that foundation. And so I just really enjoy that we get to have that platform to even say that. I love that so much. Okay, so let's get to your book, and how writing a book, being a best-selling author, has brought in that mindset shift of a CEO leadership in this type of business. So tell us a little bit about how that correlates.
You know, I don't know if it does. Like, I mean, it all kind of goes together, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I think having a CEO mindset is key in every area of life.
Yeah.
It's really about, taking responsibility, being resourceful, like really it's up to you, right? I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's like not depending on like, oh, my mentor needs to teach me this, or you know what I mean? Like it's more like going out there and like figuring the things out, But I also think too, like, so the book that I, was a part of, I shared a bit of my story in that, and my story was, really coming from a space of, kind of a rough childhood and, teen years, and kind of stepping into, I became a believer. Gosh, it's been like 16 years now. And that was great. But like at the time, I mean, my life was kind of a hot mess. Like it wasn't like oh, it's all fixed. Like, that's not exactly like, at least not for me. That wasn't my story. My story was, now I got to do the work, now it's time to grow. Now it's time to like step into that growth and take responsibility and, change it. And we have like, I mean, I could have never imagined this life back then. Never. Not even in a million years. Like I didn't think I would live past 25. I really didn't.
Yeah. Our God is so good. Our God is so good. Okay, so I love that, because I think a lot of people think, well, if I've done a lot of big things in the past, that it'll still work for the future. But if you don't keep that CEO mindset and you don't keep your focus where your focus is needing to be on God, then it's, that's just how it is. All right, so let's see here. Do you think that has impacted your personal brand though, as your business? I know you're starting to create other streams as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have, I feel like God has been kind of like nudging me to do different things in different ways. Like I actually have, I have 2 TikToks. So I had one for,
And you don't
that
have
I was
social
using.
media involvement.
Yeah. Yeah, like I didn't even, and I actually, it's funny when I sat down with him this week, he was like, I want you to start posting on the old one. And I was like, what? I was like, this sounds like extra. Again, like I swear every time I sit down with him, but it wasn't extra. It was just different. It
Yeah.
was a shift. And
No.
so, I think it's different. Like when it comes down to your personal brand, it's really, uh, it's really who you are. And, so so I kind of like, because we have so many different things going on, sometimes I'm like, well, I'm this and I'm also that, and so it's really combining it all together. But, it is what it is. Like, I feel like God has really, laid a framework for me, and it's different for everyone. And that's the thing. And that's why it works so well, I think, too, is because it's different for everyone. Like even when we were talking about Tim and his story of, when he came in, he didn't make anything for the first 3 months because he was trying to do it like other people.
Yeah.
He wasn't finding his perfect
Yeah.
customer and who he is. And that is so cool because we have the trainings to figure that out, to help people to
Yes.
find their niche and who they're meant to reach. And God has really put on all of our lives like a calling to reach out to certain people. And so it's just kind of figuring out, who that is, and just being authentic to yourself, so.
Yes, I agree with that so much. Okay, so if there are anyone that's looking to start their own online business or with multiple streams of income, like Janine and I, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would just say, I would say start with this one because it's by far the most profitable. It's going to help you in any other business that you're a part of. You're going to learn the skills to, not only have the strategy and learn the branding and learn
Yeah.
how to talk to people, not be salesy, be authentic, like how to show up in that way, how to master a 2-hour workday. You can really apply that to any business when it comes down, especially with the automation. And then you can use the automation to automate other things. So
Yeah,
definitely do
I
that.
love that. And for those who don't know what automations is, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So automations is basically like, so we have a done for you website and done for you email automations where really when you want to learn more about this, you can reach out to us and we can give you our website and you can go and learn about it. And we don't have to spend the time to explain all the nitty gritty
Yeah.
details because you can go through and learn about it yourself. And also, obviously we're here if you have questions,
No.
but it's really, being able to like plug people into this where they're going to learn about it. And then we aren't having to do follow-ups and sales calls and, some of the stuff that is time consuming
Yes,
in
no
business.
cold calling, no DMing, none of that. That's
No
so
bothering friends and family, and it's rejection free because you're not going and bugging people and chasing them down. It's really just
yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, I love
I love
that
it.
so much. All right, so let's skip ahead a little bit. We've got about 10 minutes left, so I really want to delve into some stuff. So how do you market this venture and, with different audiences across different platforms?
You really just need to know who your perfect customer is. You can use a lot of, your stuff in lots of different places, like, even just using something like Repurpose IO to be able to repurpose it to other places. You don't have to be
Game
everywhere.
changer. That right there is a game changer.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Right. So, what strategies have been the most effective in growing your online presence and community?
I would say I really enjoy just like Facebook is kind of my first love. When it comes down to it, that's really the space that I have, really gotten to like make so many amazing friends. And, the thing I love about Facebook is a little bit more community oriented. And so
Yeah.
just connecting with people and just being real and being able to, be authentic. And so I think that's really a game changer, just be yourself.
Yeah. All right. Right. So, what would be your future goals personally and professionally with this particular program that we use?
I would say, personally, my goal, like monetarily, my goal is to hit 100K by the end of the year.
Yeah.
We're at 37,000 already, so it's not a huge goal. We are going to be traveling very quickly till the end of the year. We generally travel slow, so we've been in like Vietnam for 3 months, but we are going to be kind of ramping up the speed, so that's going to limit my ability to do as much as I so that but I'm excited about it. I think it's totally doable. I mean, there's so many people that hit it in much less time.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that. And just to continue to grow and continue to learn and, be able to, automate our other businesses as well along the way.
Okay. So, are there any other initiatives that's coming up that you're like super excited about?
As far as the business goes,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Like something
well,
like
so,
are you the new website that you're coming off of by
oh
using
yeah,
this system? Is that something
yeah.
that you're super excited about?
Yeah, I am really excited about doing that because I just feel like that's like a mission of mine, to really like help people get connected to kingdom resources for growth. And so I'm excited about that. And then, starting this new ministry as well and being able to, start bringing families on mission trips and help equip them to, get ready for stuff like that. So working on that as well. Yeah.
That's exciting. I love it. And you can use this business as automated systems to do all that. So
Yep.
that's what's cool. It's not just for someone who's looking to make extra income. So do you mind to go into that a little bit at the three types of customers that you probably would get with this business?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so basically you have three different kinds of customers. So one is someone that maybe has a business already, but is wanting to learn networking or marketing, not networking, marketing, and be able to, use the website and the email automations as well to, be able to customize it for their business. So we have a lot of realtors, boutique owners, handyman businesses, stuff like that. The second kind of person is someone that maybe wants to create their own products or courses or programs and be able to use those to, and market those as well. Sorry, I think I'm getting tired.
No, you're
And then the third
fine. We're
one
almost done.
is someone like us that is really just wanting to, have an automated business that makes sense, that, we can do with integrity and minimal time and be able to earn 100% profit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a game changer for that.
Okay. All right. So with wrapping up, how can our audience do this? How can they do what we're doing, where you have made 37,000 in the last, was it 7 weeks? And so 12, oh, sorry.
That's
I
okay.
don't know where I got 7. I'm claiming that for your next 7 then. But yeah, so how can they do that? How can they learn to work with us? What does that look like?
Yeah. So just drop ready below
Mhm.
in the comments and we'll get you some more information.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And the first step is saying, I'm ready, stepping out on faith. That's what it is. All right. So, guys, if you are interested in building a similar business as Janeen and I have with a done for you system, a system that works for you even while you're sleeping, and you can use just 2 focused income earning hours a day, then this is how you do it. Janeen has been amazing. We're so exciting. Janeen, I'm praying over your family. I am so excited that you get to have this new adventure as well. And I love that we got to have this time to talk. Is there anything else that you would want to say to the audience?
No, I just say, you know, if you're feeling the nudge, come learn more, see if it's a good fit for you, pray over it. Honestly, it has just been such a blessing for our family. I'm so grateful that God put this in front of us. So just step into it, you know?
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. And we may do another interview when she hits that 100K because we know it's coming. And I'm believing that it's coming way sooner than the end of the year for you. And
Probably.
we're really just excited for you guys and these new missions. And you can connect with Janeen or I through Facebook and be able to fully grow your family in a new direction financially. But pray over that first and just learn more. So thank you so much. I pray everyone has a blessed day. Thank you, Janeen. And I look forward to hearing from everyone soon.